All right, so Deontay Wilder gets the obvious stoppage. I'm not surprised by that. First round stoppage of Berman Stavern in this rematch, and nothing surprises me about the whole fight and how it went. Right, but my immediate reaction was that this was a stage fight, and there was a lot of mistakes that made it obvious that it was a stage fight. Again, I don't sit there and say that only Deontay Wilder is the only guy that is involved in staged fights. I do believe there are other top fighters that are, the fight is stacked in their favor to win, right? A rigged fight, where I think that when it comes to PBC fighters and especially Deontay Wilder, I think that there's some serious. This is just my opinion. Whatever you think is your opinion. I think that when it comes to Deontay Wilder and his fights, they're very fixed, and they do a bad job. A lot of that has to do with Deontay Wilder, the poor technique, the bad coordination that he has, the terrible punching technique that he has. A lot of it, a lot of that stuff is on Deontay Wilder. So the fight starts off with Wilder, sort of just has his hands down. It's not fearing anything coming in because really, Berman Stavern is not really punching, right? How many punches did he throw in that whole round before he got knocked down? I think like 4 punches maybe. Did he land any of them? I don't really think so. I don't think he landed any of those punches. And you had Deontay Wilder with his hands down, just throwing a jab from basically from his waist, just flicking it out there, just flicking it out there. And to me, that was one of the signs that this is a fixed fight because he had no fear of Berman, whatever the hell his name is, Berman Stavern. He had no fear of anything coming in, right? He had no fear that Berman Stavern was going to actually try to counter any of his punches and throw something with any meaningful intent. So that was one red flag for me. The second one was when he dropped him the first time, right? When he drops him the first time, Berman gets up. He sort of shakes his head. Usually, look, if you've been in a fight, if you've been in a boxing fight, or if you've been in a fight period, you knock somebody down, he gets back up, or you hurt somebody, you punch him in his face, and he's shaking his head. You got his attention, but not to sleep on him, right? Because more than likely he's gonna wanna. Unless he starts running, right? Unless he starts running, more than likely he's gonna throw punches with you out of desperation. There was none of that. You saw Wilder keep his hands down, right? All the way down, as if, there's nothing, I'm not worried. There's nothing gonna come my way. Nothing's gonna come my way. This dude is here to get beat down, and that's it. And I think Wilder catches him with a 2-punch or 3-punch combination. I don't remember. And he goes down the second time. Berman gets back up. He's sort of like walking around the ring, like, I can't believe I'm letting this shit happen. This is bullshit. Who knows, right? All that talking shit that he did at the press conference could have been just, bullshit, and he was part of it, or maybe he was serious at that point, and last minute somebody told him, you're gonna lay it down in the first round, right? And this is my opinion. This is what I thought. This is what I think happened after the fight happened. And, this is just my opinion. This is what it looked like to me. It looked staged as fuck. And so, Wilder comes back, finishes him off with these awful punches, these windmill punches. Again, man, not fearing anything coming in. One of the things that unless when you're fighting a professional boxer, you should always be wary of a desperate fighter trying to get one last punch in. Wilder wasn't even worried about that, you know. Just let those windmill punches go in, all off balance, no coordination in those punches. Landed a few of them, and Bermane Stavern, whatever his name is, was out of there, right? The fight was over. The referee, I don't even think, bothered to count because he knew at that point it was over. So to me, that's what made this fight staged, in my opinion, right? That's just my opinion, looking at it as an observer, a guy who has been around boxing, watched boxing since, I'm a man in my 40s, right? So I've been watching it since I was a teenager. I've been boxing since I was a teenager. Anybody who's my age, in their 30s, even in your 20s, and if you actually believe that this is, this is a great fighter, I don't believe you. I personally don't believe that. I don't think you think he's a great fighter. I think you want to think he's a great fighter, one of the best heavyweights that are out there. This was all part of the plan, right? Fight Bermane Stavern, make it look like he was interested in fighting Alexander Povetkin and Luis Ortiz, and that they, it's because of them that the fight didn't happen. That was all part of the plan. All part of the plan to end up fighting Bermane Stavern. Berman played his part, right, all the way to the end. He played his part, and he got rewarded. He probably got rewarded a little extra, under the table, and and he just had to lay it down, get laid down in the first round, make Deontay Wilder look good. No serious threat there. I think personally Wilder could have beat him. Wilder could have beaten him if the fight wasn't staged. I think it was just like, let's not take any risk, and to make Wilder look impressive. That is why he did not fight guys like Luis Ortiz or Alexander Povetkin, because those are guys that are probably not willing to play ball, you know what I'm saying? And they have way better technique than Berman does. They have much better condition, and honestly, in my opinion, they're just much better fighters than Deontay Wilder is. So they're not going to take any risk because the goal is to fight Anthony Joshua. That is the goal, fight Anthony Joshua. More likely next year in the summer of 2018. More than likely it's going to be in the UK. If they want to make a lot of money, right? If Deontay Wilder wants to make a lot of money, the fight's going to be in the UK. That's what I think is going to happen. The question would be will Wilder agree to it? I think he will. I think he will, because I think the money's going to be big. It's going to be lucrative. It's going to be a big payoff for him. I wouldn't be surprised if that fight happens, Joshua, Wilder, fight happens, and it's a good fight, right? It's a good fight. Again, Anthony Joshua, I don't believe he's a finished product. I think there's still some room for him to improve, but if this fight was live, if the fight was to happen live, and let's see what happens. From what I've seen from Anthony Joshua and Wilder, I think, I wouldn't be surprised if Anthony Joshua knocked him out in 3 rounds. But I think that there's a good chance that this fight could be a good fight, because in a rematch you can make more money, right? If he knocks him out in 3 rounds, I don't think nobody would want to see that. Nobody would want to see a rematch, unless it's like a, Prince Nassim versus Kevin Kelly kind of fight, right? Where it ended in 3 or 4 rounds, but both guys got dropped, something like that. But yeah, that's what I think about this fight. That's what I think the end game is. The end game is to get him to the Anthony Joshua fight. I've said this before. I know other guys have said it too, that uploaded videos. Have talked about this in past videos. So to me, stage fight is exactly the way I thought it would go. Did I think it was going to happen exactly in the first round? Nah, but it was a stage fight to make Deontay Wilder, the WWE superstar, look good. Peace.